they're gonna have to change the thing in town and add him to the list or put him in the top of the list or that's fucking awesome.
We're going to, oh, you just said the F word in the first 30
Why
seconds.
we was on?
Yeah, you got to pay attention, man. You got your phone on vertical just so you can see the time.
Yeah, I did,
I mean,
and it just flicked over.
Man, 25 seconds in.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason you do that stupid vertical thing instead of horizontal and be like a true professional podcaster.
Wait a minute, vertical, whatever. I put it this way so I could see the time, right? But
Right, and it doesn't even do you any good, and you can
I-
hardly see you when you do it that way.
I ran in there and had to poop real bad, so boom, I exploded that in. Got my coffee. Now I got my diet generic Coke from Dollar Tree. Now I'll spin that thing around.
Look
Now,
at that. That looks so much better. Now make it so you can see you.
well, I had to adjust to set the.
I mean, you've only been on here for 30 minutes
no,
pre-planned
because
bullshitting.
Anyway, the whole thing was I wanted to see the time because I couldn't see the time.
We could have. It was vertical, so you could have seen the time, but you weren't here to do it.
Yeah, excuse me for taking a fucking shit.
Well, excuse me for waiting until it's showtime for you to do such.
Well, why don't you just say, hey, I'm getting ready to do this. So I got my coffee. Then I also got I told you I got the cola. Anyway, where are we at now?
Todd Montgomery in the house. Everybody's at. So I don't know if I'm in the, can you guys hear me and stuff? All the names are different today. Like at Manuel Valverde 4191. At Clayton 5584. At George Jetson FN4CY.
Well,
I don't get it.
You're the technology man.
So I don't know. I'm dumbfounded.
Well, I guess it was like when I'm talking to Junkyard Dog. I thought I was talking to Junkyard Dog, but I wasn't. I was talking to Big Daddy Ritter because his name had been changed. So he said, "No, So it's a continual learning experience."
Yeah, it's just like that, Rip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
well, what about Screaming Baboon? That's the most important thing. Is he there?
He's your boy. I don't know. I figured you've been texting with him all night. Is he coming or not?
Well, we was talking about coming. That's why we was having that phone sex. But I don't,
That doesn't surprise me. I told my mom. I told my dad. I talked to him the other day, and I said, "Hey," because they watch the show. They never watch it live, but they always watch it later. And I said, "Hey, I probably don't have mom watch the Jamie Dundee episode." Yeah. And he said, "Oh, she already has. She loved it. She loved him. She thought he was great. Very entertaining.
That's the best.
Very upbeat. She really liked Jamie Dundee."
I said, "Great." Well, I loved it too. And I said, "Oh man, this is a little heavy."
So
Jamie's the best. What the hell?
Yeah, Billy Ray Dollar, a little $9.99 super chat there, said, "Little something for the show, boys, out of appreciation. Can't watch live." Well, thanks for stopping in and donating to the cause, Billy Ray Dollar.
At the Billy Ray Dollar baby, the $9.99. He got the super sticker. What? You said the Weasel was there, but he had a different name now.
They all do. I said everybody. I read everybody's name different.
Both of them.
Everybody. 24 people in here. Lars Anderson today, Rip. You're going to ask some questions today. I really need some help today from you and not have you just sit there like usual. Like I rewatched some of the Jamie Dundee and you literally were just sitting there like writing the whole time.
Writing?
Yeah, you were writing. And then I said, "What are you writing?" And you're like, "I'm not writing." So I rewatched it and you're just sitting there writing. Oh, like, I'm trying to ask some questions. Jamie Dundee's just on fire and you're writing something like a story, a short story, or you're in your diary, or what are you doing?
Okay, you asked me, and then you kept talking. So
right. It's a long question.
Okay, I'm talking. I had one pen trying to write on the paper plates, right? But it wouldn't go. So I was just scribbling, trying to get to go. And it would be okay. Then I would go to the next word, and it wouldn't work.
But what are you trying to write during an interview with Jamie Dundee? Like, what are you trying to write down the whole time?
Well, I can't remember what I did 3 minutes ago, let
Oh.
alone last week. Come on now. Get real. Are you kidding?
Talion said I'm bitching a lot today. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to bitch on this show. What, are we all just going to be happy all the time? I mean, shit.
Well, hell, wait a minute. You're 6'5" in the prime of life.
52.
You got. Wait a minute. I got my hat on. Wait a minute. I got my hat. I put it over here because I was gonna be like Bond. So now I got my hat on. So now we're two super cool dudes and everything, just acting like we're over, mad at the world. Shit, you're in the prime of life, 6'5". Don't get any better than that. You got the queen. You got the queen. You got the 6'12" brother. You got the Hall of Fame girl as a sister. And I think one of these days you'll beat her in free throws, but it's still going to be a couple more months of practice. So, and then Kathy liked Jamie Dundee's interview, so it don't get any better than that. You get the thumbs up from your mother. Holy moly, she'll be cooking you some special food next time she sees you.
She doesn't. The king does most of the cooking.
Well, you know,
maybe she'll bake me a pecan pie or something.
Oh God, yeah. Tell her to sort of get me one too and save me. No, I want you to do get that pie and tantalize me and eat it on the show and I don't get any.
220. I was 221.2 this morning, man. I got down to 219.8. Hit a little wall. Now I'm still hanging around the 221, 222 mark. So not bad. Still about 20 pounds down.
Well, what it is you're mad, you're mean because you're miserable because you haven't been eating anything. God, hey, the better you look, the harder it is. You're mad all the time.
The more you bitch, Italian, maybe if you started eating a little bit better, you'd bitch a little bit more. How about that?
Yeah, me and Vaughn are always mean because mean, mad, ugly, all the above, because we're sitting there dreaming of chocolate chip cookies.
There you go. Hey, so we've done a show or two about famous people from Seymour, Indiana. That's where me and Rip are from. Seymour, Indiana, the home of John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yep.
The home of all the top stars, Rob Morgan, a.k.a. Rod Steele. Danny Basham, man. The damage of Danny Basham, former WWE tag team champion. 2-Foot Fred, which has been on this show before. Rob Weedoff, which is the voice of John, whatever his name is, John Marstoff from Red Dead Redemption or whatever. Baron Hill, the politician. Now we got a new one, Rip. Stephen Wilson Jr. I don't know if we have any country fans on this chat today, but if anybody watched the CMA, the Country Music Awards the other night, Stephen Wilson Jr. did Stand By Me, the old, who was that? Benny King? Who was that? Is that Benny King, Stand By Me?
Well, I wasn't exactly in the top 1,000 list of listening to country music, so.
Well, it was Stand By Me wasn't a country song. But he redid it in a country way. Stephen Wilson from Seymour, Indiana, made his big debut the other night for Newcomer Artist of the Year on the CMAs.
Now, he was between Seymour and what, Crudville?
No, he was Seymour High School.
Okay, but I mean, when you went out to the junction of 31 and took a right, correct?
I have no idea where he lived.
Okay.
If that's
because I remember his dad when he was the boxer and everything.
Yeah, so his dad was a boxer and he got his sons in boxing. So Stephen Wilson Jr. was originally a Golden Gloves boxer. Then he went to college. Then he became a chemist. And he said, screw it all, and quit his job and threw away all his money and moved to Nashville at the age of, I don't remember what it was, like literally like late 30s or something like that. I'd have to look it up. He's like 46 now, so maybe in his 40s. I don't even know. Threw it all away and said, I'm going to go to Nashville and write country songs. And here he is, man.
What a story. Now, if he's not with the woman of his dreams, now he'll have 8 million other women trying to be the women of his.
Well, I actually looked that up. He is with another
country and
artist,
western,
another singer who was actually, I think, in a couple bands before that I had heard of. So, but I didn't know his dad. His dad had died. A lot of this stuff is doing all this in memory of his dad. His dad died suddenly at the age, I think it was like 58 or 59. He had a pulmonary embolism. So it wasn't like expected or anything. I remember when I was selling like the shakes and stuff.
Yeah.
I met with his dad. His dad worked out at a like a CrossFit gym or something out on the way to the interstate out there where Spencer's used to be. Remember Spencer's hobby shop or whatever?
Yeah.
And I met with his dad about pushing
Bailey's root beer stand. It used to be by Mellencamp's parents' house.
Yeah. His dad still has that house out there.
Okay.
But I met with Stephen Wilson Sr. at that time. So
beautiful.
Anyway, let's see who else we got here. I kind of got off track here. Tom Montgomery, Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass. I don't know their names. It's all different. Bull Diggin, good evening from Germany. Oh, he's on his 4th day of fasting.
Oh, so he's going to be in a bad mood because he's hungry.
But then again, he's still hungry, but it's not that bad.
Okay, but he's dreaming of chocolate chip cookies. He's dreaming of a big fat chocolate milkshake. All right, now I'm getting hungry.
George Jessen from outer space. Wow, Lars Anderson is quite a git. Good job, Rip. That's all on Rip. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, we'll see if we had the technological stuff to him pop in when he's when he does.
Well, we do. Big George said, "Hello, hustler maniac." So that's a new one.
Who said that?
Big George.
Well, I thought he was in class. Is he sneaking off doing something? Okay.
I don't know, maybe. Manny T. Weasel. Hey, yo, T. Weasel in the house. Talion watching from the village of Green Valley. Shane Parks in the house from Roseburg, Oregon. Clayton in the house. Aaron in the house. I forgot a lot of these people are in green too. Hey, if you're not in green, go become a member of the Rip Rogers Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Ask Rip Rogers Live. Become a member. And you might get some extra questions answered on this show.
Holy shit. It could be bonus day.
Could be bonus day. Shane Parks in green says, what is it like to wrestle Ivan Koloff?
Well, I wrestled him when I was this green as grass. The first time in Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm wrestling Ivan Koloff, and he's wrestling in of course, he kills me, beats me, but he goes, stretch. So I put the abdominal stretch on him. And the place half-ass popped because that was Wilbur Snyder's finishing hold, who was Dick the Bruiser's business partner in Indianapolis. And nobody else was allowed to put a stretch on, right? But here I was, I put it on it. And I think it was a rib. Ivan was selling it before he destroyed me. But anyway, my mom was there and my dad was there. And that was the first match they'd ever seen like that.
Against Ivan Koloff?
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that was a great memory for me. So got my ass beat just like it. I think I got my ass beat. Then I asked him for his autograph. And he said, well, I'm not really Russian. You know, I'm really French Canadian. But anyway.
What a first match to go to though for mom and dad, Ivan Koloff.
Oh yeah, my mom was almost crying. She said it looked like he was killing you. I said he was.
Mine saw against it was like one of those amateur shows, like against the CPA or who else was in that class? The Varsity Kid or one of those guys. Yours is Ivan Koloff. I mean that's pretty.
Yeah, the former WWF champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit better than the CPA that wrestled with a hat on or whatever that guy's name was.
Well, what the hell?
Frank's Pickle Barrel last $2 super chat said, Mom says Rip made great stuffing.
I made great stuffing, or I gave her a great stuffing one way. I think I gave her a great stuffing. I felt something flapping in the breeze. I didn't know what it was. But anyway, away from that, and I'm still laughing about Jamie Dundee. He might be on here today. He might even call in.
So I tried to do some of those little clips. I tried to do a whole bunch of them on there, and they all just kept getting like ding from YouTube with all the like profanity, because when you make a 30-second video or 50-second video and you're not supposed to cuss in the first 30 seconds, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Every clip I had of him was 20 F-bombs every 30 seconds. So it was
well, you know, he's got passion. Jamie's just wanting to do his best, stir a little shit, stir a little bit of controversy because he's Jamie Dundee. He can do that. And then if he did it, I wouldn't remember it anyway. So what the heck?
He was a big fan of Missy Hyatt.
Oh, it's tremendous. I listened to the thing. Gee whiz, I never heard. That's one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life. I listened to it time.
He really liked her. Here it is. Hi, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. We've determined that it's not suitable for advertisers. Talking about our Jamie Dundee video.
Oh,
that's all right. I loved it. I thought it was great.
We don't have any advertisers, so what the hell?
Well, like when I put out videos and we make a little bit of money on some of those because ads pop up at some point in time.
Okay.
So have you heard from Lars Anderson today by chance?
Not today. No.
Okay.
But I talked to him last night, so he said everything under control.
I can't remember if last week or not. Did I bust this out last week?
What is it? What's it say? Oh, I can't remember that. That doesn't mean that you didn't.
Woo Mercy Daddy. Welcome to my world, the Jimmy Valiant story. WWE Hall of Famer, written by Jimmy Valiant and Angel.
Angel. It had to be, okay. It had to have been Angel on there.
Look at that.
Oh, man. That's handsome. That's
Vaughn.
Handsome all the day.
Vaughn, God bless. Best wrestling wishes. Woo, Mercy Daddy. Love you, brother. Jimmy Valiant, 2016.
Oh, Vaughn, the gotta eat, brother.
Love your brother, he said.
Oh, Jimmy's the fucking best.
Woo, Mercy Daddy. He put in the signature.
Woo, mercy.
That's a long ass book, man. 500 and 600 pages, something.
That's too long.
That's probably why I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You got the inscription from hands on. 550
pages. I've had it for almost 10 years.
You haven't cracked it yet, have you?
I haven't, but my mom, I forgot. They had it this whole time. They've had it since I got it. I think that's one my mom bought, but he signed it to me.
Uh-huh.
Because my mom bought everything from him that day, remember?
Yeah, she bought, I think she hurt her hand signing so many things.
So I was talking to Eugene, Nick Dinsmore, and he said he's booked this weekend in some big WrestleCon or WrestleCade or Wrestle something in Winston-Salem, and he said the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, is supposed to be there as well.
Yeah, I went to one years ago there. It's one of the originals. It's always a great one. WrestleCade is.
Yeah, he said it. I guess it's supposed to be a big one.
Yeah, they do it every year. I think Greg Price runs it.
Man, I guess you won't be coming to the one in Indianapolis this year, or in March.
Who knows where? Who knows where? I'll probably be croaked by then. Get real. Are you ribbing?
You've been saying that since the first day we did this show almost 4 years ago.
Well, that's whatever. If I was in Indianapolis, I'd have been there, but I'm not in Indianapolis right now. So,
well, it's not until March.
Yeah, you're right. Who knows, baby? If not, we'll just walk in and we'll just run in and take over. We'll get Romer we'll get on Romer's table. You know. He's
Shane
probably
Parks
got.
wants to know if me or you ever refereed a match. I don't think I ever refereed a real match besides just in training, practice matches. I don't think I was ever an official referee. How about you, Rip?
No, never in my life.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a great thing to go to learn how to get in the ring, how to get out of the ring without looking stupid. Learning to jump over the top rope if need be.
What do you mean?
Learning to, what do I mean? I was
He
on a
said,
roll.
"Did you ever referee a match?"
I said no.
You said no, but it would be nice to learn how to
No,
jump over the top rope.
but
I don't.
no. I said no. But
Yeah.
then it would be great if I would have started that way. Most of the guys that start, they get to get your feel. A lot of people, you're nervous when you start. Then all of a sudden, you get the feel of the ring and everything. It's your job to check the turnbuckles. It's your job to check the ropes and everything. But that you do that for about a year, and then you'd be a whole lot better when you had your first match because you probably wouldn't have hardly any nerves at all.
Yeah. I just wondered. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was different back then than when. I mean, when I started wrestling, we all put up all the rings and checked all that shit anyway. Like,
Right. But each match, something can happen. I remember
yeah.
some guy as a rib, a guy put a blade in the turnbuckle in one match. Guy slammed the guy.
Uh-oh. I can't hear Rip. I don't know if anybody else cannot hear him now that he went dark. Here we go. So Lars Anderson, the guest today. I hope you guys have some questions for Lars Anderson. I tried to do a little research on him. A little before my time. I barely kind of remember Gene Anderson tagging with Ole. Not as familiar with Lars Anderson. I'm not going to lie. Definitely heard of him, know who he is and all that good stuff. Just didn't know a ton about his career. So if you guys got some Lars Anderson questions, that would be fantastic to do when we get started. People are asking how old he is. According to Wikipedia, which is not always correct, it says 86 years of age, which again is not, always correct, but that's what it says. Rip, if you can hear me, just exit all the way out, like hang up, disconnect, whatever, and then come back in. I'm going to guess. Here's my guess right now for this show. My guess is Lars Anderson just called Rip. That's my guess. So, Frank said he's a 5-time Polynesian heavyweight champ. Yeah, I saw a bunch. I guess he was mentioned on Young Rock when that series was out. There was some controversy, I guess, that came out about Lars through that show. So I was going to ask him some of those questions. Charles Alfred in the house. What's up, man? We've just lost Rip here, so if I text him, then he'll get mad at me for texting him, but I'll do it anyway. Sorry for the delay. All right. Any other questions in the chat? I mean, I guess it would have to be to me. Oh, there he is. Still can't hear you. Can you guys hear Rip? I can't hear you. Rip, you're going to have to probably exit all the way out. Like, when you go through your apps and you flip, and you're going to probably have to, unless it's just me. Somebody put in the chat, can you hear Rip? Yes or no? Somebody please answer. I can see you, Rip. I can't hear you. You can wave on your, okay. Nobody can hear you, Rip. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me? No, you can't. Okay, well, you're going to have to exit out of here. So wherever you see StreamYard on the phone, flip it and close it all the way out and then rejoin that link I sent you. Like you're going to have to get totally out of this, like exit, like leave. Like we, let me see. Let me see something here. Nope. You're gonna have to leave the show, Rip. If you can hear me, just take your phone and leave. Like hang up. Act like you're leaving. Like the show's over. Act like. But you still got to swipe it. You got to close out the app because you're still showing up on here. You're still. Here, I'm gonna. It still doesn't remove you. I'm gonna try to call Rip. Greatest show ever.
Yeah.
There, you did it. You finally did it. It just left. Now you're out. Now go back to the link and
go back to the link. Well, that's what I was trying to do. And
but you never closed it out. You never closed it.
I turned the goddamn phone off and turned it back on.
Okay, well now it worked. So the link I sent you for today's show, go back to it and click on it. Rejoin.
That's what I was trying to do.
Well, do it now though. Like, do it now. I don't know if you guys heard him or not. Did anyone see the AI of a fan kissing AJ Lee? She's pissed about it. I did see that, yes. All right, now I got Lars Anderson texting me, wanting to know if I could send it to his email. Now let's see if we can hear Rip.
Well,
what?
Well,
don't blame me on this shit. What do you mean? Yeah, you. What's that mean?
Please stay in the studio until your recordings have finished uploading. We recommend.
I don't give a shit what that says. I'm running the studio. I'm in the studio. If I say get out of the damn thing, just get out of the damn thing. I know how to do this.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now it works.
Right. Yeah, I said you had to get all the way out. You had to leave the studio, but you were scared because it said don't leave the studio.
Okay.
You're being so scared, Rip. Just come on.
Well, wait till you get 71. I can't wait.
I won't be scared to leave a internet studio when I'm 71.
Well.
So Lars Anderson just texted me and said email.
Yeah, that means he didn't get it by text.
Well, he got it. He just wants it by email, which is what I had asked.
I don't know what his email.
Which is what I had asked you to get from him, yesterday.
But he said, well, he wanted to get it by text. To be fair,
I said, hey, let's get that email yesterday.
He wanted to get it by text.
Okay. All right. Anybody? Uh-oh. Might have him popping in right here. Perfect time.
Did it work?
All right.
Hey, all right. It worked. Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
What's up, Stud? Holy shit. We're on fire now, baby. Fuck, goddamn luscious Lars come right in here. I got to adjust my if I can see me, see him, see you, see us, all the above. Can you hear me, Lars?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. Shit. Yeah. Hell, I can hear you. I don't want to hear me. I don't do nothing but cuss. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, somebody just poked their head in. The guy we've been trying to get on this interview for how many minutes now? Whatever. Hell, I'm blind. I can't see. Anyway, Lars Anderson, Larry Heineme, the legend of the Andersons brothers or whatever. I could go over all the shit he's done, but I'm gonna let him talk about the stuff he's done. So, Lars, can you give us a little background of how you got all of this shit, how you're the man, all the stuff you went from college, this and that, your businesses and everything, and just started talking.
Okay, well, I graduated St. Cloud State University in 1965, and right before the National AU tournament, they were having a wrestling match in St. Cloud at the Armory in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and Vern Gagne was on the card. Of course, it was his promotion, AWA promotion, and so I had met Bill Casisto, who he was a All-American at Minnesota and played for the Green Bay Packers and was sort of the booker in the Minneapolis wrestling office. I had met him one time and told him that I'd like to go meet Vern, and so he set it up, and I put on. I was wrestling at that time. I played football at about 240, and then cut down to 191, and I had just cut down for the national collegiates to 177. So I was a scrawny kid at that time. So I put on 3 or 4 sweaters and went down to meet Vern and said that I'm going to this AAU tournament in San Francisco, but when I get back, I'd like to be able to start training with you guys. And so he had a farm outside of Minneapolis and had the ring set up. And I was like the first. He trained a bunch of guys after that, Ric Flair and Ken Patera, and a whole bunch. But at that time, I was the first one, basically. So Gene Anderson helped with some of the training, and Gene had been in the business maybe 3 or 4 years at that time. So we decided, that we would go on the road as a tag team. And it was sort of natural because my Finnish ancestry, but the grandparents, when they first came over to the country, worked in the iron ore mines, and the Finnish were considered shit disturbers, so he changed their name to Anderson for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
And
you
he
were a
named
shit disturber. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, anyway, so the Anderson name fit naturally because I was an Anderson at one point in history, And anyway, we went to Tennessee, and I think I probably made about you know $75 for the week or $100 for the week, but I had a car, so I would charge the guys transportation. So that's how I survived. And then from there, I called Vern up. I said, this is horrible. Can't do this. So he got us into the Crockett territory. And then we worked underneath in the Crockett territory and went for about 3, 4 months, and then went to Georgia, went on top in Georgia. And from that point on, then we went back to Crockett's, and I worked on top, and from that point we were on top for the rest of our lives. Anyway,
Hey, speaking of Vern Gagne, now this is funny as hell. when I was 22 years old and I was a senior in college, I wrote Vern Gagne a letter, and I wanted and I repeated all his history of putting him over, et cetera, right? And he said he would let me come in for the next camp that he had at the barn and everything. But
Right.
in the time, I went to Oak Hill, West Virginia, and bullshit my way in. I wasn't even smart. I got my Carl Hildegard stuff and everything. Had my first matches, wasn't smart, didn't know into the terminology or whatever, and I bullshit my way in. Now, if I would have went through Vern Gagne, I would have been properly trained. I would have been a whole lot better. I know that, but I said, well, this other thing's. I'm going to try it first, and then maybe I can go in. But I used to have the letter from Vern Gagne and everything, and what to do, blah blah blah, follow up this and that. But I said once I got my Carl Hildegard shit, had a couple matches that weren't real, I was hooked, and I said I'm already in now. So what the hell, right? But I got the dumbass move of the year because he would have took care of me because he would have got his booking fee, so he would have made
Yeah.
sure I was booked. So I got the dumbass award on that. So what the hell?
What were your training like your trainings like with Vern? And was it kind of what you expected coming from the amateur world? And how many people
Not
were
at
you
all.
training with at that time?
Not at all. You know, we did, you know, basically just the moves, and then of course you know, the bumps, the body slams, the backdrops, and so forth. You know, so I the first couple days I would get home and basically crawl out of the car and
That's awesome. That's
into the
great.
apartment, you know, and
That's great.
put the hot tub and all that. No, it was brutal, you know. It was like, you know, the about the time you're all worn out, you know, then they want to jump on you and, you know, like try to stretch you. But anyway, I got through it.
Yeah, that was Ole's best. You go with this guy, you go with this guy, then after you've had three guys, then he'll get in with you.
Yeah, right.
Oh man,
Yeah,
this is all.
Oli was a very different story. You know, in college, he ended up coming to St. Cloud State University. He played at Colorado, and they had the tents up in the summertime, and you know, they illegally trained the wrestler, the football players and wrestlers and so forth. And he got a concussion, you know, so he lost his scholarship. You know, he's off the scholarship. So anyway, I was in Minneapolis. I had gone back to homecoming, and I saw him walking down the street. You know, I pulled over and started talking to him. I said, you know, I said, what are you doing now? He said, oh, Vern's training me and blah, 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 blah. And they said, you know, we're on top in North Carolina. Um, we could bring you in as a third brother, you know, like work an angle. So I sold the Crockett promotion on bringing in, you know, Ole as a third brother. I pick him up at the airport in Charlotte, and he says, "So what's my name?" I said, "Your name is Ole." What? What? I said, "You're Ole Anderson." Yeah, so we worked in program with Sailor Art Thomas, and they brought Sailor Art Thomas, and the audience had never seen Sailor Art Thomas. Anyway, we're working with Becker and Weaver on Raleigh TV, and you know, like all of a sudden we're pounding on him, you know, and then out from behind the curtain comes Ole, you know, and we're, you know, all three of us are ganging up on Becker and Weaver. And then comes the Sailor Art Thomas comes out from behind the curtain. They never seen either one of them, Ole or Sailor Art Thomas in North Carolina. And over the top rope, one goes, I go over, Gene goes over, Ole goes over. And the rest of the summer, we sold out every place. And we sold out in Raleigh, I mean, in Greenville, North Carolina, or Greenville, yeah, I guess it's Greenville.
No, the big show was Greensboro.
Greens. Well, that wasn't was the one on Monday night at Greenville, I think it was.
Okay, is that the one they ran
So
weekly?
yeah, every week.
Yeah. Okay.
26 weeks in a row we sold out. 26 Mondays. You start your week with a good payoff, and they had good payoffs there. So anyway.
So did you come up with the Ole name, or who actually came up with Ole?
Yeah, yeah,
And I might have missed it. Did you know him prior then? Like, how
yeah.
did
He ended up at St. Cloud, and
that
we
right?
had a wrestling match. Jock, he was in a fraternity, and a jock against a fraternity. So we, the building was a small building, the little, where we wrestled, but it was on the college campus building, maybe 3,000 people. So they filled it up because we, promoted this wrestling match that we were going to have. It was amateur wrestling, but
Oh wow, that's
anyway.
pretty wild. So who came up with Lars then?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just short for Larry, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that okay? Is that really short? I didn't
No.
know that.
Well,
I don't-
LAR and then
You went shorter,
RY.
yeah, with an S. We do have a super
Swedish
chat
name.
question to you. It's called Shane Parks. Said we were already talking about Ole, so we'll get to this one. What was it like to team with Ole Anderson? He had already asked that question.
Well, when we first started, it was easy because he was learning, but it was all, it worked well as a tag team.
Yeah, I mean, we've had bunch of different guests on here, and everybody who has their own opinion. It seems that Ole Anderson, Rip always loved him, and we had some other people that loved him, and then we get some people on that didn't care for him as much. So I just always find it
Well, in the
interesting.
later years, like the later years, it got to be a little bit too much. I had retired at one point from wrestling, and had a national T-shirt store company. First T-shirt store company in the U.S. Actually, I had the first store in New York, first San Francisco, Scottsdale, Arizona, New Orleans. I had 26 stores around the country. So at one point, I decided, I was living in Aspen, Colorado, and I'd go up by the water tower and say, "What do you want to do with your life, Larry? What do you want to do?" And I decided that I wanted to go back in the wrestling business, so
It's awesome.
the only,
Couldn't get away.
put me in. Yeah.
Shane Parks with a super chat question to you. Did you ever wrestle Harley Race, Terry Funk, or Dusty Rhodes? I know you wrestled Dusty Rhodes because I saw a clip of that. I actually have a clip of that.
Harley, when he and Larry Henning were tag team partners in Minnesota, had a tag match, he's a good worker, as far as I'm concerned, kind of a douchebag, but a good worker.
You're talking about Larry Hennig?
No, Harley Race.
Harley Race.
Oh, Harley. Yeah. Oh, well, Harley was just Harley.
Yeah, Harley and Henning were tag team partners.
Yeah. Well, you tagged with Hennig, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Mr. Perfect's dad. So
Right.
so I imagine you guys was pretty wild out there.
I remember one match we had, Larry's knee, was, had it banged up. I had my knee banged up. So we were working in Duluth, Minnesota, and we got to, the only way we could get to walk to the ring was we had to lean on each other because my right knee was bad and his left knee or whatever, so we had to lean on each other to get in the ring. We got through the matches, but it was a kind of a tough go.
Okay, you tagged with Paul DeMarco for Roy Shires in San Francisco, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Did
Paul
you
he was a decent worker. He's a very good worker, actually.
Did you like working for Shires, or was it sort of a rib?
No, I enjoyed it, like, because the town, there was not much traveling,
Right.
and the payouts were good. He paid very well. Other than Gagne, I think he was probably the best payout man in the business.
Was you guys on TV at Channel 20 out there? Do you remember?
Channel 44 and
Okay.
either 40 or 44 in Sacramento. I'll tell you a quick story, like, so Roy had this, he was married, but he had his girlfriend, Nikki Garcia, was a Playboy model, so he gave her a diamond ring, and then he decided the better of it, cheap screw that he was, like he decided the better of it and somehow got it back from her, and she was really pissed. So anyway, we're having the weekly wrestling match in the studio at either channel 40 or 44,
Okay.
and hear bang, on the back door. There's maybe 60, 70, 100 people in the audience, and she had hired a truck and dumped about 3 tons of horse shit, against the back door of the studio. She was so pissed. Anyway, it was quite a scene.
Yeah. It sounds like that sounds. I thought she should have been. She should have been on top as a girl wrestler. She had a good attitude.
Yeah.
I liked her already.
We've got a super
Yeah,
chat question here, Rip. It said, Pot Tripper Jr. says, memories of you boxing versus Ole Anderson. Did you guys have some boxing matches?
no,
It says,
not
memory
that
of
I.
your boxing matches versus Ole. So
That
okay.
must, they must have been when it was talked about when they was in college and doing that. And they got confused.
Probably, yeah.
All right.
I would have won if we had, because I actually did box a little bit when I was in junior college, so.
Well, no, Ole would, no matter what, he might stretch the truce to make sure he was on top. What the hell? I loved Ole. I told the boys, I said, you guys, what the hell's the matter? All he's doing, he's the boss. He's the boss. Just do as he asks. Shut up, and everything's fine. In any job, just do what the boss wants. He wants this, 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 and this. Give him that, and you do to your best of your ability, and you'll be fine. But everybody wants to get their shit in like Marks. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell me about the Hainimi hemp?
I name me hemp. Yeah, well, anyway, uh, I was living in Hawaii
Uh-huh.
at the time, and my son calls me up and said, like, we want to develop these bags, you know, and make some calls to China and see, and bags for the hydroponic industry. I said, what the hell is the hydroponic industry?
Yeah, I got that
You
written down.
know,
That's what I was going to ask you. What the hell's the hydroponic industry?
so anyway, the hydroponic industry, I mean, they grow pot, but with water, basically. And so anyway, I made some calls, and made some, because I had uh, produced some tummy twisters in China, and so I got some contacts there, and we started the Shield and Seal, which is a vacuum sealer bags, black on one side, clear on the other, all black, and vacuum sealer machines that we imported from China, and we sell to the hydroponic industry, which are basically pot equipment stores to the growers. And we did first year we did 20,000 in sales. Last year we did 7.5 million in sales. We sell worldwide.
Wow.
Shield and Seal is the name of the company. It's sell worldwide to the growers, and it's a food-based product. We sell to grocery stores and all over.
So you're doing quite well for yourself.
Doing okay, yeah.
So you could have a lady of the evening every second of your life if you wanted it.
Well, that's possible, yeah. But I'm happily married, so.
Well, I'm unhappily. You know how the deal is. Hey, you was part of the promotion, right? Partners with Chief and Leah when they had that big show in Hawaii in '85.
Yeah, 85 we did 25,000 sold. Only 25,000 tickets sold.
I was working for Wahoo in Tampa, right? And he says, hey, I want you to go out to this show out here, blah, blah. I got, the posters and stuff like that. I got pictures of them and everything. I said, Chief, I can work here. All you want to do is leave and go play golf. I know that. You're going to go there and play golf and have a good time. They're going to have a 6-hour show, but he was living in Tampa, but he would have to wait and fly all the way out there to Hawaii, all the way back. I said, no, I just want to work the local towns here because I'm already on the beach and I don't give a shit about the beach anyway. So just do my thing and you go ahead and have. So the Chief, I said, Chief, did you get that golfing in? He goes, yeah, I got the golfing in. How was the show? He goes, man, that was a long show. I said, you see, I didn't fly all the way out there and all the way back here. And now you're mad because you're tired from fucking traveling. But I love the Chiefs. So,
Yeah.
So how was that show?
It was the first time that, like we had the NWA, AWA, we had, the ring actually came from Japan. The Japanese gave us a ring, so it was a great show. It was like, it was went on satellite around and,
now,
it was a little bit of a, like the Crockett's, wanted to pull out of the show, like they didn't want any of their talent taped.
Oh, okay.
So
now was it Flair work with Sifi Affy on that night?
Yeah, Sifi Affy, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is all by memory, so I'm just there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this, but a lot of stuff I'm thinking. I'm 71 now. What are you? 83?
86.
Holy shit! I forget everything, and you can out talk me, and you remember stuff just like that on stuff off the fly. And shit, I can't remember if I went to the bathroom, if my pants are zipped, or even where the hell I'm at. So,
well,
you're way ahead.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay.
We got a couple super chat questions here. What did you think from Big George Lambert? What did you think of Thunderbolt Patterson?
Thunderbolt was his own man. I mean, he definitely had the audience captured in Georgia. So, he was independent character.
Look, that's putting it good. Me and my partner, we worked with Ole and Thunderbolt a whole lot of times. And Ole and Thunderbolt, we would just, I'm full. If I could only say that on TV and this and that. And Ole would just talk soft to him and soothe his ego and everything. Because whenever we was working, hell, the audience would be nothing. It seemed like it'd be 90% black. So he drew all those people in there.
Yeah, right.
I ain't mad at him.
No, he was a good draw. I mean, he definitely a good draw.
We got another one here. Pot Trooper Jr. How was wrestling? Is it
Gory Guerrero.
Gory Guerrero. My aunt says she saw you box Ole in the early 80s. He's going back to the boxing thing. Early 80s at the Mid-South Auditorium. So his other question was about Gory Guerrero, though.
I don't even know.
Oh, Gory Guerrero was Eddie Guerrero's grandpa. Was what was it was? See, I worked with Chavo. I worked with Mondo Guerrero, and then the Guerreros are three generations. So,
well, Hector was in there somewhere, right?
yeah, he had all those brothers. Yeah, I was with Hector in Tampa in '85.
Uh-huh.
Rip, did you ever wrestle Gory Guerrero?
Oh no,
So,
he was a whole lot older than me.
Lars, you don't recall that one?
no. I never worked with him. Not that I can remember.
Well, if you can't remember it, you probably didn't do it then, because I can't remember nothing with anything.
Big George wants to know your thoughts on Marty Lundy.
Who?
Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson.
I just met Arn at they had a thing in Charlotte here. I don't know, where was it, in May or something like that? They brought a bunch of guys in. The guys
Was
from
it
Florida brought them in.
okay?
The first time I met him.
Oh, it was really?
Yeah.
Rip, do you remember when they brought him in as Arn Anderson? When would that have been? In the
I have no idea. I was out of the business at that time, and
let's see, '84. I was with him in Pensacola, so it was after that, because Flair talked him into that. So all of a sudden, yeah, when he had that beard and was sort of balding in the head, he did look like Ole a little bit, a little bit, What the hell? Then Ole Ole could do less, and Arn could go out there and take all the bumps.
Did you ever work with Vince Sr.?
no. I sold T-shirts to them.
Oh, really?
But
Much easier to sell T-shirts and make all that money and not have to go there.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I love working for Ole, and I love a lot of times when we would go on them tours to West Virginia and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Michigan. I would ride with him, and all he would do, I would just shut up, and I just wanted to learn Oleisms. I wanted to learn the history. I wanted to learn all that shit that nobody, most younger guys at that time, they didn't give a shit about. They were just busy. It's always been the same problem of just wanting to get your moves in that meant nothing anyway. But yeah, Ole was a good mentor. Gee,
I have
Lars is dead.
one interesting story about Ole. Like I was in Florida, working in Florida, and had had a, they fired me basically. Like I forget, it was 6-man tag match in Jacksonville, and like I was a champion, either the Florida champion, and you know, came in and said, like if like he wanted me to lose the last fall, and I was a kind of at that time kind of pissed off about the business. So, are you still there, both of you?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
here. We can hear
Oh,
you. We
okay.
just can't see you.
Oh, okay. I can see myself, but I can't see you guys. Anyway,
we can hear you.
so 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 we like I have to go back. I have to go back on this story because I got into the middle of it. Anyway, I was like you know, like the Georgia office, they had to fire me for some reason or other. I don't know. I had my own, you know, started my own wrestling company, so you know, it didn't work well with Barnett, you know, so they fired me. So in any event, he only sent me to Detroit, and I went in the Detroit, you know, the wrestling, the arena, and it must have had 60 guys there, 50 guys, I don't know. I I said, fuck it, I'm out of here. So I left.
So you went to
Went,
Cobo Hall to work for the Sheik?
yeah, for the Sheik, yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, I put my boots back, I put my clothes back on and left. I said, the hell with this, you know. So anyway, I went to New York where my wife was in New York, and you know, the next day I get a phone call from Ole. Ole, you know, so he said, "What the hell did you do?" I said, "You left." I said, "Yeah, I left." I said, "This is like a bullshit operation." And he said, "Well, you're totally unemployable. Nobody's going to use you again. You're unemployable." I said, "Okay, fine. I'm unemployable." You know, so the next day I get a call from the booker, and you know, Johnny Valentine was the booker in Florida, and he wanted me to, you know, come down and work his style, you know, and you know, heavy-handed style.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Johnny, I'd be happy to come down. You'd have to send me a ticket, but you know, the Ole said that I'm totally unemployable." He said, don't fucking worry about what Ole said." Anyway, so that was, but then I ended up getting fired in Georgia. I mean, in Florida after about 4 or 5 months. And you know, where I started the story backwards. You know, anyway, if this guy can't do the job, if this guy can't do the job, if Morocco can't do it, if Dusty can't do it, I can't do it. You know, so they fired me. So then I went to Georgia and started my own company. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. I've been fired by everybody, so that's just part of wrestling. If you're not, if you're not an owner, you can fire anybody you want for no reason. Uh,
yeah,
that's the way it is. This is the business we love. This is the business we didn't want to have to get a real job. This is oh now we're back on.
Just trying things, Rip. Just trying
Oh,
things.
okay.
now I remember why I got fired in Georgia. You know, I had all of the at that time I had all the Florida guys and all the Georgia guys under T-shirt contracts.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know, T-shirt contracts. You know, and Jim calls me in the office one day, and I'm actually had my daughter, my oldest daughter, selling the T-shirts like in the Omni and still selling them at the events. You
uh,
know, so you know, Barnett calls me and says, "Lars, my boy, you know, like, uh, how are you selling T-shirts and our promotion?" I said, "Well, Jim, you know, like, uh, I have contracts with them, and I have contracts with the building, but it's our promotion." I said, "I don't know if it's whose promotion it is, but you know, I have contracts with everybody." You know, so that was they had to fire me then.
Wow. So on your phone right now, I would like to get your picture back up here if we could, possibly. Is there any little camera showing on your screen?
I see myself on here.
Just wonder why we can't. I hate to do anything to mess up the audio, but I would like to get you back on here if we
Yeah, I don't know.
could see you, so you could see us. Rip, when yours goes black like this, what do you do?
panic. Then I can't remember how to get
I
out.
mean, you swipe out of it, or what do you do?
I start over.
You start over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We have a question here. It says, Bull Diggin wants to know about Billy Robinson. Does Billy Robinson, do you guys have beef or something? He said he wants to shoot with you. Is that, do you know anything about that?
No.
well, Billy was wanting to shoot with everybody because he was like a real wrestler, and but that's the guy that Peter of Maivia pulled his eyeball out. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, Lars would know. He would know all about that because you was business partners in Hawaii for how many years, Lars?
I started there 83
Okay.
till they tried to kill me. You
Oh,
know.
let's get into that. Let's get into they tried to kill you. That's the best.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well. Anyway, I had a tape, of my own wrestling program.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I actually worked in the office and had my own wrestling program, and I put it on Satellite Program Network, World League Wrestling it was called.
Okay.
Anyway, we were over in Lahaina, and the next, I went outside to get some fresh air. Everybody was drinking, in this the Lahaina Tavern or whatever it was, So the next thing I know, I get hit from behind, and they threw me in the ocean. Ati So'o was one of the co-owners of the promotion, and you got thrown in the ocean, and I woke up on the operating table, like in the hospital. So what had happened, I did because I was unconscious. I didn't know, like the ticket seller, this lady that was our ticket seller, had got a spoon out of the kitchen and was pried my tongue, so I could breathe. I guess I was, anyway, that was kind of that was the end of doing business with them. Anyway,
Same.
the I they had a meeting, like Atiso, Leah, and a couple other guys, a couple other Samoans, and they decided that they couldn't do business with me. I actually carried a gun into the meeting because if the guy makes a move, I'm going to kill him. So in any event, he didn't make a move, and I sort of resigned myself from doing business with him.
So any money you put into it, they screwed you on. Does that sound right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the norm in the wrestling business. Well, shit. If we'd have started out with this story, wow, we would have had some heads on here and everything.
So was it the Samoans then that tried to kill you, or they had
Yeah.
somebody try?
Yeah.
Was this after
Samoans.
the meeting or during the meeting?
No, this was before the meeting. The meeting was to how are we going to resolve? How are we going to live in the same town? And not hassle each other.
So I'm only a little familiar with some of this because I'm sure maybe you've heard of it or saw clips of it. The Young Rock show that came out,
Right.
which had a lot of Leah in that show. So he was on there saying, if I remember correctly, something about he as a teenager, I believe, came and had words with you possibly in the locker room. Wasn't there a story about they said you wouldn't put over Rocky during the match or something like that?
No, it wasn't Rocky. It was Bad News Allen. Wouldn't put Bad News
that's right.
Allen
Yeah,
over.
it was. Yeah, Bad News Allen. That's right. Yeah.
So in any event, yeah, he said something. We never had a real confrontation, but he said something.
So did
anyway.
any of this stem from that, or was that just a whole separate?
Yeah, no, this was all after that initial incident, of them deciding they wanted to take over, because I was selling the wrestling, the program on satellite, and bicycling it around, like 30 different stations on like the Dakotas, Alaska, and then satellite program network. So they decided, that if I can do it, they could do it. Well, they weren't able to do it. So anyway,
So can you go into the eye removal story?
the what?
Who got their eye taken out or whatever?
Billy Robinson, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was not around at all when that
Okay.
happened. Yeah, that happened at some other time between Peter Maivia and Test of Strength, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember the first time I met Peter Maivia. I was in doing TV for WWF in Allentown or the Philadelphia Arena, and there he was in the shower, and I never seen. I'm just I'm just a redneck Midwesterner, so I'm sitting there, and here's this guy. He's got tattoos all over his body, and
Right.
I'm thinking, I never seen nobody in my life that like that. And now I'm in Las Vegas, and everybody, male and female, they got nothing. They got nothing but tattoos every inch
Yeah.
of. And I haven't got one tattoo, and I'm 71. So what the hell?
Yeah. There you go. Well, I had 3 tattoos, and I had a psychology class in college saying, like anybody can have one, but if you have it any more than that, could be a little bit off. So I had 2 taken off.
Okay. Yeah. When I was at home, when I was a kid growing up, the only guys that had 2 tattoos was usually servicemen, and they usually had like mom on their arm or something
Yeah,
like
right. Something like
that.
that.
It wasn't like it is now. Hey, can you tell me about when Buddy Colt was Nils Anderson under a hood?
I don't recall that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one of our avid supporters and listeners was he sent me a picture of it, whatever, but he was one of the Anderson brothers, but he had a hood on, and it was Buddy Cole under the hood. I think it was in Florida.
Buddy Wolf or Buddy Cold?
Or maybe it was no, not Buddy Fuller. It was hell, I can't remember. I was just talking. I might have said the wrong name or whatever. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall that one.
okay.
But I'll tell you a quick story about Peter Maivia in terms of he did the traditional tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
Samoan tattoo, as a paramount high chief. And he did it he holds, I think, probably to this day, the record in having done it in as few days as possible. God Almighty!
Uh-huh.
It's really, I mean, it takes them a couple of days to do the tattoo. So covering half the body.
Got another question, Rip, if you want to read it.
I can't read it.
Is it Superboy or is it Superboy? Did he typo it? Superboy TUI. Tui?
Tui, yeah. Superfly
Superboy.
Tui.
Oh, Superfly. Okay.
Yeah.
Superfly Tui, a nice guy outside of the ring.
Is he a nice guy outside the ring?
Correct. Yes. Is that yeah.
I don't know. I never cared for him. I had issues with him.
Okay. Who were some people that did you hang out with anybody outside of like the wrestling ring, I guess I should say? Like who did you go out with and hang out with?
Larry,
What did you do outside of wrestling?
Larry Henning primarily. Buddy
Oh yeah.
Wolf, Larry Henning. I trained Buddy Wolf, so
Okay.
yeah. We raced snowmobiles, like Henning and I both, we did the race from Winnipeg to St. Paul for the St. Paul Winter Carnival. It's like 500 miles. It's a 4 or 5 day race.
So you was at home in the snow, baby.
Yeah, right.
Because
It's like 40 below zero when you take off from Winnipeg. It's like 40 below zero. You take off about 6:30 in the morning and go to Crookston. 4 day race. But it was kind of interesting because I raced for the Skidoo for the factory. They gave me factory sleds,
uh-huh.
to race. And you get into Crookston or on your stop, and they get about 15 mechanics come take the sled and change this, change that. Like it's a real production.
Wow. Somebody in the chat wants to know if you could tell any stories on Mark Lewin or King Curtis.
King Curtis. Well, I met Curtis in Australia first, but I would go chat with him. He had a beach. He had a concession on the beach. With
Yeah.
selling the
The
how do
boogie,
you call it?
they called them.
The what?
Did he call it? Were they the boogie boards or what?
Boogie boards. Yeah, the boogie boards,
Okay.
surfboards and boogie boards. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was partners with his son, Rocky Iake Jr.
Rocky.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, Carlos.
Oh,
So
okay.
always tell me stories about Hawaii is what it was.
He
So,
had plenty of them.
holy shit! Yeah, that Curtis Iake, he was a hell of a blade man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Rocky had the virgin head when he went to Puerto Rico, and then his head looked like his dad.
Yeah, really.
Oh man.
Was there an Anderson wrestling boot? Somebody's asking about the idea of the Anderson wrestling boots. Are they just talking about
The style we had.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, they were maroon and gold, Minnesota, University of Minnesota colors. I remember, maroon and gold. So we had these stripes on them. Yeah, nobody else had any the boots like that. So anyway, just
Before the
tried it
show,
out.
me and Rip were watching a clip I had it pulled up of gosh, I can't even think of his name now, Rip. Oh, Tony Atlas. My gosh, it's totally slipped my mind now. Tony Atlas is telling a story about you guys getting in a little possible brawl in the ring or outside of the ring. Is that something you'd like to elaborate on?
Well, it wasn't a brawl as such. It's like Ole wanted me to put him over, and Tony was just starting, and I wouldn't put him over. So we didn't have any hassle about it. I just didn't put him over.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
That's just part of the wrestling business.
yeah, I sort of had an independent streak. Like I had. I developed my own company. I had companies. I had the T-shirt company. I had
You didn't need wrestling. You were
no.
already.
That was sort of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't mad at you.
Good.
So who would have been some of the guys that you wrestled that you thought were like tough guys? Any names stick out? From clips I've seen and interviews I've seen, it seems like you were pretty tough back in the day for sure. So what about other guys that you thought were?
Well, Carl Gotch was, I was just starting out, in Carolina, and worked with Carl Gotch. He's stiff as he wanted to be. I mean, he could do everything. He could put you in and out of the holes, and
You
Other
couldn't.
than that, other than that, I really, I I worked with most of them, and it's not that I thought in my own mind that I was tougher,
Yeah.
after working for Valentine and doing his style, it was really learning experience. And the toughest part of it was that none of the guys wanted to work in Johnny Valentine style. They didn't want to get pounded on and held down and pounded on, and they wanted to move, and you had to hold them there and pound on them and pound on them and pound on them, so.
Hey, I was working for Ole, and I looked up on the board, and I'm supposed to work for Stan Hansen, right? So I just went up. I said, Ole, come here. He said, yeah, you and Stan Hansen. I said, no, watch. I pulled my goddamn pen out. I scratched my name out, and I put Ole Anderson was going to work Stan Hansen. He just laughed and left it the way it was. I said, my ass ain't going in there. He might accidentally kill me. Can't see. I wasn't mad. I said, nah, I ain't taking my life in my own hands. Get some other goofball besides goofball me to do that.
Rip, do you remember who actually wrestled Stan Hansen that night?
No, I don't. I was just busy. I was just busy laughing and telling the story. And Ole was just right. I was always hanging around with Ole, just goofing off because he had that dry sense of humor, and I'd get him smiling every once in a while. So that was, and Ole was Ole. So what the hell?
What was it like wrestling, working with Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty was easy. I mean, like I mean, he was so over in Florida, that he didn't have to do anything. I mean, to get a little heat, and that was about it. He'd come back for 30 minutes. But I do remember the one time, we worked in St. Peter. This was when I was on my way out of the territory. Worked in St. Petersburg, and
Was that the Bayfront Center?
yeah, I think St. Petersburg. I don't know what the name of the building was. But yeah, Bayfront. I guess it was the Bayfront. Yeah. Anyway, supposed to put him over in about 20 minutes. I'm on the way out of the territory. So he kept saying, "Let's go." I said, "We're not going yet." No, we're not going yet. Pound out of a little more. I think we went like 55 minutes. I pushed it to 55 minutes as
Holy,
opposed to 20 minutes.
you trying to what?
you know, he said, "What's wrong?" Like, "You won't sign my contract." Uh, what are you talking about? "You won't sign my wrestling contract. I mean, my T-shirt contract." So push it to 55 minutes. He finally says, "I'll sign the goddamn contract. I'll bring it to the office tomorrow and sign it." You know, so I
That's
put him over.
wow.
But
That's awesome.
anyway, he went in the next day and he signed the contract.
Wow. Whatever happened with the T-shirt business then?
T-shirt business. I sold the stores, and I had the store in the Omni, Columbus, Georgia, uh, Macon, Georgia. I sold 4 stores to the Ward Edwards was the whip in the Senate in Georgia. He was a mortician by background, but You know, like
So
he
you were
wanted by the stores, so I flew in from Minneapolis, you know, to get a check, 100,000, you know, for four stores, and he he was we were sitting in the chamber, the judge's chamber, you know, like in the Georgia Capitol, and I pushed the contract across, and I said, "Well, I got a car waiting, or a cab waiting, or a limo waiting. You know, I need to get back to the airport and get a." And he hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed, and I said, "Ward," I said, "everything's legally right there. Just sign it. Give me my check so I can go." He said, "Larry," he said, "I'm a Southerner. You're a Northerner, and we just don't trust you guys." And but he finally signed it and pushed it. I got it. It was like pulling teeth to get him to sign the contract or sign the check and get it to me across the table so I could go. Anyway, but then I sold some of the others as well, closed them down.
okay.
We got another question here. Says, Lars, have you ever had to rough a guy up in the ring? We listened to a lot of Dutch Mantel stories, and I think I did hear a Dutch Mantel story talking about maybe you guys got into it a little bit one day too. So anything on Dutch or anybody else that maybe you got?
Well, I remember the incident a little bit, but you know I don't remember. But you could consider me a stiff worker at times. You know, like normally I just went along and worked, but you know sometimes it tightened up a little bit.
I'm glad you didn't work with me. I just said, "Oh, call the police." I'm out of here. I'm Strickler Entertainment. There's no violence in my match. I guarantee it.
So
Well,
none in specifically you want to elaborate on?
is there what?
Any incident in particular that you could elaborate on, or you just don't feel like you really had any? You just said you work kind of stiff some. You don't really think you had to rough anybody up too much?
No. Well, I mean, you know, a couple times, yeah, Brian Blair on a TV match in Florida gave him a little bit of a hard time, but not
So did
not normally, not normally. But with the style that Johnny Valentine worked and the style that he trained me essentially to work, it was a relatively heavy-handed style. Guys don't like to get pounded on, and guys don't like to be held for 15, 20 minutes, and they're trying to get away and do some kind of a move, and you just hold them there. You know, it's like, and it's a whole different psychology with the crowd. You know, like the crowd. You know, like they don't say shit for 15 minutes or so. You know, but
Exactly.
then as you're holding them, you know, then the guy makes a little bit of a move, and they get a ripple and boom, 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 and you know, and it just. But to do that particular type of work takes a beating on your own body. You know, I got beat up a lot. You know, Pedro Morales, for example. You know, like I don't hear it so well out of one ear because of a match I had with him in Miami. You know, like pounding on him, pounding on him, pounding on him. He finally got tired of being pounded on and started pounding on the side of my head, you know. Boom, boom. You know, so I mean it takes its toll on the guy doing it as the guy that's receiving it. So anyway, tough style, but it was Valentine style and I did it pretty well.
okay.
Heavy handed enough.
We've had this come up again in the comments a couple times since your comment on Harley Race. said he was you thought he was a douchebag. People were kind of
Yeah.
wanting to know if you could elaborate on Harley a little bit. Well, why didn't you like him? I guess.
He was no class type of guy, and this would be not. He wasn't a douchebag in the wrestling business, but outside of the business, he was. So it was just. I don't want to get into those. Those are like his personal stories, but he was, not a real classy guy in that respect.
Hey, here's a story you'd like. I was taking a shower in Atlanta, and Harley had them zap guns, like to shock you.
Hmm.
So he opens my shower thing and starts zit, 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 zit. And I'm in the water and everything, right? And
Oh, yeah.
he's just laughing to death. And I'm scared I'm going to die or whatever, right?
Really?
I said, holy shit. Let me get the hell out of here. That's a hell of a rib.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
But he was famous for that zap gun.
So
Yeah.
before we get off here, how did things end with the like the Anderson brothers, the three of you? How did that ever come to an end? Did one of you leave first, or two of you?
Yeah.
I
I
mean, I
left. Yeah.
remember watching Ole and Gene when I was a kid on TBS.
Yeah. I was Ole had come in. Ole had been there about a year in Charlotte, and I had it basically with tag team wrestling, and I just wanted to wrestle, as a single, so I went to back to Minnesota. I called the wrestling office up, and yeah, I'm coming back. I want to come back home, and yeah, we'll find a spot for you. Okay, okay. So I get back to Minnesota, and I'm sitting around 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you know, and I finally, what the hell's going on? Like you said you'd book me, and like I'm not working. They said, well, Lars, he said, Wally Carbo says, we got, I forget who it was, Tuffy Truesdale or somebody had a bear,
Yeah.
and he says he's bringing the bear up in North Dakota, so we can book you in North Dakota wrestling this bear. I says, Wally, I ain't fucking wrestling no bear. If you can't book me, then don't book me. But I am not wrestling a bear. So I never wrestled a bear either. Anyway, but next week they put me back working.
Yeah. Or Louis Martinez got his finger bit off by a bear.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit dangerous. They don't take, as far as I'm concerned.
I think actually have a clip of this on here. I don't know if you'd be able to see it or not, but we have a question that says, do you remember doing the silver dollar challenge?
That was in Florida, right?
It must have been because that had been a single wrestler.
Yeah.
Was that what? I don't know. Was
Very
that
durable man. He's capable of taking a tremendous amount of punishment and dishing it back out.
Right, Gordon, I ain't going to take anything from the man because he is the champion. He's very tough. I'm not going to say that he didn't have me in trouble because a couple times there, Gordon.
I don't think that was it. Do you remember who it would have been against? George, who was that against? I thought I had a clip of that somewhere.
Lars, you remember how many silver dollars you could actually put in that big pickle jar?
I have no idea, but I don't know. Could be a couple hundred.
Supposed to be 1,000, right?
Yeah, $1,000. I don't recall the whole thing, but I do remember that doing that in Florida. Florida TV.
So what was the silver dollar challenge?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what it was?
No, I had to. I could you could try to beat me in so many minutes, or I don't know. I don't recall.
Well, if we had a little better producer of this show, Rip, we would have had that pulled up by now.
Yeah, we would. You know, when I'm feeding you information, you know we're in trouble because I'm trying to can't remember where I'm at. So what the hell?
Let me try to find it, Rip. Surely you got one more question on your paper plate, don't you?
No, no, not really. Let me see.
No.
Lars, did you ever wrestle Ole?
Yeah, Swedish the accidental match in the Omni.
Okay, so who was babyface and who was heel?
I recall I probably was the baby face in that one.
Ole. he, God, he was just so funny because he had that dry sense of humor and he was really smart, really had a high IQ, but he was always telling me how smart you were.
Mm.
Really. And I said, well, Ole, I don't remember you ever putting anybody over. And he just laughed. He said, no, he was really smart.
Lars, do you watch today's wrestling?
I actually, my son, my youngest son, and grandson were going to come over to. They had what do you call it? A WWF match, Monday Night Raw in Sacramento here about 2-3 weeks ago. And they didn't make it, but I went down. And it was a pretty. I mean, it was an incredible production. The pyro, the fire, the noise, the lights. They do a hell of a show.
Then the bell.
Huh?
Then the bell rings.
Yeah.
Down from there, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I left before the main event because I had thought I had lost my car keys. And I didn't want to be on the street with thousands of people trying to find my car keys, but they were in the car when I got there. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go again, but the way that they do the production was had a lot of production, had good production value. Good, the tickets were I call the New York wrestling office. I mean, they comp me the tickets. But they're $195 tickets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one thing, like I had, like I have these 4 posters, from Hawaii wrestling, and the New York wrestling office gave me 10,000, or the five posters gave me $10,000 for the posters. Plus, they sent them back with new frame and everything. So it took good care of me on that one.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Yeah, when we could still see you on this camera, I saw you had a bunch of stuff in the background. Looked like you had walls covered with wrestling memorabilia. Did you?
Yeah, I don't know how Ken was. If I went around as. Yeah, it is. Oh, you can't see me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that stuff that you've always had, or are you a current, like, you continue to collect things, or is that all stuff?
No. This was just from the fact that, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posters. I got a shot of Ole and I over there, and The Rock, when he was about 15 years old with my two youngest sons.
Oh wow. Well, we're gonna have one more question for you, and then I would like to have you try to just jump off and rejoin to see if we could just see your camera one last time to see if maybe we could see that picture. I think it'd be really cool if we could see that picture. But
Okay.
the last actual question that we have here would be people want to know or ask center of the board. This guy wants to know. He's a longtime fan from the South. He wants to know who was your best or favorite tag team partner.
Who was my best or favorite?
Yeah, your tag partner. Who did you like tagging with?
See, that's why I always tell you, Vaughn, when it's the best thing, now you got to go through every match you had in your life. And
Well, just just reading the question. I don't can you hear us, Lars?
I remember he tried. I think he told you to turn it off, turn it on, try and get back in to get that picture. Yeah, he's trying to get back in now.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know. Okay, he's been gone for so long. He's trying to get back in, just like I was.
But you see right now what I'm talking about. See how it's still black with his name there?
Yeah,
That's how I know that you haven't totally like exited out.
black
Because
with
I can,
his.
like if you're looking at our screen, see the black rectangle that says Lars Anderson?
I see the black. Yeah.
Okay, now he's gone. Now
Okay.
he's exited out. That's why I always tell you, you've got to get totally exited out. Now that black screen's gone. So now I know he's totally out. So now if he rejoins, everything should be good. If he rejoins.
Yeah.
Who was Horst Hoffman? Bull Dingham wants to know.
Horst Hoffman was a big star that from Germany, and I think he come over to the.
Now you left us, Rip. We can't hear you. You blacked out. Now we can't hear your volume. So now you have to leave. Now you got to exit. Hey, this is what it's like doing a virtual podcast live. I shouldn't say this out loud, but with a 71-year-old and an 86-year-old. I mean, I'm 52, so I'm not that young, but we're going to run into these problems with a 71 and an 86-year-old. Sorry. All right, I'm going to stick around here for now. Rip, I don't know if you can hear me, Rip, but that black rectangle with your name is still on it. So you're going to have to totally exit out. Like swipe that app so the app closes totally. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but I don't know. I'll wait here a couple minutes to see if Lars pops back in or if Rip pops back in. Center of the board, I can maybe do something about it. The problem right now, center of the board, is me and Rip used to live by each other in Indianapolis, Indiana, but right now Rip has been staying in Las Vegas. So I can ask him, see if we can make something work. Dave Cheno, one more match? I don't think so, man. I did my one more last match. Oh, online, sure, man. Yeah, we can I can come up. Oh, you're saying like be on the show, like be on. Yeah, we can figure something out. Or just separately or whatever. I can ask Rip, see if we can arrange something. No, I did a match a couple of falls ago against the Outrunners. Rip came out with me, against the Outrunners. All my family, my kids got to watch me for the first time and only time. All my aunts and uncles and cousins and mom and dad and everybody were there. So I am very content with that being my last match. I'll write that down, center of the board. Okay, I'm going to give this one more minute. The countdown is on. And if I have nobody on here with me in 1 minute, Rip, if you can hear me, exit out of your app. Like, totally close it out. Swipe all that shit until they close. Oh, there's Rip. Still can't hear you. You never closed it out. The rectangle has always been on there. You got to swipe it or turn your phone off or whatever. Like your apps, you got to swipe all of your apps so it totally closes. The StreamYard app has to be shut. Well, have you heard? All right. Did the best I could today. Rip, you were on fire today, asking good questions. You had some notes written down. You did some research. Probably, I would say you probably had some help from Big George, so appreciate that, Big George. And, man, this is the greatest show we've done today. Thank you, Lars Anderson, for coming on wherever you might be right now. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for all the super chats. Really appreciate it. Didn't even get to read through those. Billy Ray Dollar, Frank's Pickleberry, Shane Parks, Pod Tripper, George Bull Diggin', Frank, George, center of the board. And we'll, hey, Rip, I'm not going to be around next Friday either. Thanksgiving, I'm going to be going out of town. I'll call you. All right. No show. Later.